The Congresswoman from Ohio, Congressman Marcy Kaptur, thank you for joining us. What do you make of this bill?
From everything I've been able to decipher up to now, over half the benefits go to the top 1%. And you know, I've been in Congress a long time. I remember another president who was able to railroad a tax cut through the Congress back during the 1980s. And the Wall Street bankers, the transnational corporate presidents and so forth took that money and outsourced our jobs from the region of the country that I represent. So there's no requirement in this bill that that money be invested in America, even if they get it, right? So it's a really lopsided teeter-totter to the top, the very same billionaire class that has caused so many of the problems that we're facing today in regions like I represent. And frankly, as a member of the Defense Committee, I have to say that we're a nation at war, and for any president to be sort of hanging out a tax cut to the very wealthy at a time when we're at war, there isn't a single veteran in his family, including himself. I think it's a really dangerous position for the country to be in. Where's the infrastructure bill? Where's the improvements to health care? Where's the NAFTA renegotiated deal? Where's the steel deal that was supposed to be announced at the end of June? That didn't happen.
Well, Donald Trump made this astonishing claim yesterday about his tax plan and what it would mean for him personally. Let's watch.
Our framework includes our explicit commitment that tax reform will protect low-income and middle-income households, not the wealthy and well-connected. They can call me all they want. It's not going to help. I'm doing the right thing, and it's not good for me, believe me.
Well, Gary Cohn, the director of National Economic Council, was pressed on that today. Let's watch him.
How can he say that this is not a plan that would help him?
I think what the American people are concerned about is their financial position.
But this tax plan, as it stands now, appears that it will benefit the president and his family. Why not just be candid about that?
Look, I've told you it will benefit the middle class. I think that's what American taxpayers care about, what they take home. They care about what they have to spend.
Well, there's a guy having to be Baghdad Bob tonight, because there the Gary Cohn knows it helps the president, and you notice he dodged every single question about how it affects the president. Here are two ways the president will indeed benefit from his own tax plan that he put out. First, ending the estate tax. According to NBC News, the estate tax is currently 40%. Trump has claimed in the past he is worth $10 billion. If his children inherit that $10 billion, they'd save $4 billion of that in taxes. $4 billion. That's a good tax cut. So, the alternative minimum tax. According to the New York Times, the alternative minimum tax has been unkind to Mr. Trump. In 2005, it forced him to pay $31 million in additional taxes he would have avoided. So let me go to Andrew Ross Sorkin. Just talk about Trump and his benefits. Why, psychologically, what is it about Republicans, and no matter who they are, Trump or the most establishment character like Mitch McConnell, they're obsessed with the estate tax. They call it the death tax. They're obsessed with building like Latin American plantations that go on for generation after generation of wealth. Why do they want to have wealth go on and on and on and on in their families? It seems to be a big obsession with them.
It is the continuation of the aristocracy, and it is coming back to America if this were to pass, and clearly would impact and benefit the Trump family. I would add one thing to your list, Chris, which has not been noted as much today, which is one part of the tax plan also includes what's called a pass-through tax for corporations, personal corporations. Donald Trump has many, many personal corporations. He would not be taxed at the 35% rate that everybody else is taxed at, because most of his money is in such pass-through corporations and pass-through entities, and therefore he would be taxed at 25%, a rate that he has offered up as being a benefit to small businesses, but in fact is probably one of the greatest giveaways of this plan for the wealthy.
Chris, it's an absolute, when you think about what these pass-throughs are, they include massive hedge funds, they include law firms, and exactly to Andrew's point, President Trump's businesses. So 90% of the pass-throughs that exist in this country are held by the top 1% of the population. So spare me this argument that we're making it look like it's just these little mom and pop shops.
Let me go to the Congressman. because it seems like Trump, the president, looks like a chump here because he's offering up all these obvious delicacies, shining delicacies to his rich friends. Everybody knows he's called for a reduction in the corporate rate down to 20%. Everybody knows he's called for a reduction in the top individual rate, getting rid of the estate tax, getting rid of the alternative minimum tax. Everything is a big Benny for him out there. Why is he so stupid as to display his unfairness so clearly?
I think because he has proven to be a president who says one thing and does another. And you have to pay attention because he promises everything. What was he? Promise him our page or whatever that old expression is.
I remember.
And then it doesn't happen. And he keeps diverting the public's attention, and they so want to believe that he is going to clean out the swamp and drain the swamp. And I'll tell you what this is going to do. Anytime you have a tax bill before the Congress, you have every lobbyist come out of that swamp, and all kinds of deals are being cut far above the knowledge of the American people. And between now and next year's election, you're going to see the worst in Washington because of what this might promise to certain interest groups. And they're all going to be contributing to those campaigns and so forth, and to his favorite candidates. And so it's kind of a call to arms for those